This is just a quick visualization on directional derivatives. I've loaded up a GeoGebra applet I like to use because it gives us a sense of the direction we're looking, and it also gives us the slope of the tangent on the surface at that particular point. So here we've got a paraboloid, and I've set it up initially to represent the partial of f with respect to x, so we're looking in the x direction, and we're just observing that there is a slope here in that particular direction. The plane that we see represents the direction that we're essentially looking as we stand on the surface. So we might be looking this way, and we see that there is a very particular slope to the curve, or the surface rather, at that particular point. We can also rotate this so that we can see the partial with respect to y. And again, we can imagine maybe we're looking in this particular direction, and we can see the slope of the surface at that particular point. So those would be our partials with respect to x and y, which are quite useful, but we also want to be able to do other things. Like imagine that we're standing on the surface and looking in any particular direction. And in that way we can rotate this plane, just as I was doing, to look in all different kinds of directions. And you see we still get this concept of the slope or steepness of the surface at a particular point. This is effectively what our directional derivative is doing. It's telling us if we look in any particular direction on our curve at a particular point, then we can talk about what the slope of the surface is doing at that particular location. In this particular applet I can also move. If we stay in one particular direction, we can talk about what's happening anywhere on the surface at various locations just by moving that point of tangency around. But again, we're really just trying to observe the idea that we want to be able to look in any direction on our surface to be able to talk about what that surface is doing. Particularly, there may be an angle where the steepness of our particular surface has some sort of a maximum. And that is a concept that we'll talk about when we hit gradients.